Hello and welcome to a rare edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be doing a classic Sudoku, something I think we should do a bit more often than we actually managed to achieve, but that's because it's very, very hard now to find classic Sudokus that are, I suppose, as interesting as the weird and wonderful stuff that we solve almost every day. But there is one author in particular who always seems to come up with extraordinary classic Sudokus, and that is Shye. She is a total and utter genius at producing these classics with unusual, weird and wonderful tricks which are still, I suppose, accessible and solvable by human beings. It's not very difficult at all to get a computer to come up with a puzzle that's a classic Sudoku puzzle that's impossible to solve, but it's extremely clever to be able to come up with something the computer thinks is really impossible, but human beings can solve because we have, I don't know what we have, but we have something that allows us to use our intuition to solve these things. And this puzzle on screen is apparently one such example. It's called White Marlin, and apparently it is brilliant. So this is what we're going to be doing today. What do I need to tell you about? I've not got much news, actually. Speaking of Shye classics, there is another extraordinary classic that immediately pops into my mind, which is in our 500,000 subscriber special free app. So if you don't have that app yet, we have solved it in a number of streams which are available on the channel, but it's completely free. Just go to your app provider, type in Cracking the Cryptic, download the free app, and you will find in that app is something called the 500,000 subscriber special. Just click on that. There are 23 puzzles in there by the great and the good of the Sudoku community. One of those is a classic Sudoku by Shye, and it's amazing. It features it features amazing logic, but it also features a sort of part way through the solve, and a moment when, if you remember Lara Croft in the first Tomb Raider game where she jumps off the cliff, it's like that. It's like you're staring at the screen going, I just don't believe what I'm seeing. It's really, really brilliant. Or what's another good example of that? Jurassic Park, when they first see the dinosaurs in the first film. You know what I mean. Anyway, Shye can produce moments like this in Sudoku, believe it or not. So there's that. What else is there? We've got loads going on Patreon. Do support us there if you get the chance. It's the best Sudoku club on earth. Thank you so much to the many thousands of you who support us there. It keeps the channel going. We're really grateful. Do drop a subscription in. Do drop a like on the video. You know the score. Anyway, let's get on with White Marlin, and I'll read you the rules, which will not take long for once. Normal Sudoku rules apply, i.e. place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column and 3x3 box. So that's it. That's all the rules. I have no clue why it's called White Marlin. I'm afraid my knowledge of fish and fishes is probably not going to enlighten me in that regard. So either Shye herself will have to tell me, or you guys will have to explain what I'm missing in the grid that is redolent of white marlinage. But do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now there is almost no point, I think, in me going round the grid doing my normal tricks of looking for sort of normal Sudoku stuff in Shye classics, because Shye's classics, I've got a 1's pencil marked in box 9 though. Shye's classics don't tend to be amenable to this sort of thing. Let's have a look for 2's. We can look. We are getting pencil marks actually. I don't know if that's an ambulance or a police car that's going past my window very noisily. Apologies if you can hear that in the background. Something very urgent is clearly happening. Either that or they're coming to collect me and take me away. 3. Yeah, 3's. Yeah, we're getting some pencil marks on 3's as well. Can I do? Yes, I can put more pencil marks on 3's. I'm getting more pencil marks than I was expecting. 4's. Yeah, more pencil marks on 4's. 4's up here, look. There's a cute pencil mark we can put into box 4 now. So look, think about where 4 can go in box 1, and the answer is I haven't got a clue. But I do know it's in one of those 4 cells. Now I'm going to remove that pencil mark in a moment, because I don't like including pencil marks in 3 different positions in a box in classic Sudoku. I will absolutely do it in some forms of variant, like Knight's Move especially, but I don't like doing it in classics. But we can see the 4 is in one of those cells, and the 4 in box 7 is in one of those cells. Now that means we should immediately be asking where the 4 goes in column 1, because it can't go here and it can't go there. So it's got to go in one of those 3 cells, which gives us another pencil mark in one of those positions, which, oh, oopsie. So actually I've done really well for 4s in terms of pencil marks. I mean, I haven't got any digits as a result of this, but 4 might be a digit we need to concentrate on. 5's in one of these cells. 5's in one of these cells. Come on. Can I do any better than that? No, I don't think so. Right, 6's. Oh, 6's don't look as profitable at all, do they? You see, I could put a pencil mark into those 3 cells. Don't do it in classic Sudoku. It will not be your friend. 7's. 8's, yes. There we go. 8 can't go here or here, so we get a useful 8 pencil mark, which plonks an 8 into one of 2 cells in box 3, which, no, okay, that doesn't do anything either. Where's 9? Oh, 9, I've only got 1 9. Okay, so I'm not terribly surprised. So we can't extract any obvious digits using immediate pencil marking, but what we can do now is go on a hunt for so-called weak squares, as I like to call them. So cells in the grid that can only be, 2 or 3 things. So in this box, for example, we've not got 3's, 7's and 8's placed. So this square's got to be 3 or 8. That square's got to be 7 or 8. And that square's got to be 3 or 7. And they don't seem to be resolved. What about this top row? We've got 5 digits in there, so we need 6, 7, 8, 9. So no, I don't think there's anything particularly restricted. What about box 1? 4, 7. That one. Okay, that's the best cell we've found so far. That can't be 7 or 8, so that has to be 4 or 9. Don't think there's anything much better than that going on there, though. I might be wrong, but I'm not seeing anything. Let's try this box instead then. 1, 6, 8 and 9. That square sees 1 and it sees 8, so that's a 6 or a 9. Come on. No. Okay. Not seeing anything there. Right, the bottom row then. 1, 2, 6 and 9 again. I feel like I said that before. 1, 2, 6 and 9. Nothing. There's nothing going on. Oh, dearie me. Well, this is when it gets terrifying. Because what we're going to have to do now is to look for more advanced things. And well, the other possibility is there are some cells in this grid that are restricted in a way that I'm, and I've missed them. That's possible. For example, in this column, look, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Oh, no, I thought that was going to be useful. There, that cell. That sees 2, 3, and 4, so that can only be 5 and 9, I think. I'm just going to double check that. So this cell's restricted. What about its symmetrical counterpart? Let's try that one. 1, 3, 4, 6 and 9. It's trying to be, isn't it? It sees 4 and 6, but still can be 1, 3 or 9, I think. 1, 3, 4, 6 or 9. Central column. 1, 2, 3 and 4 in there. Ooh, that one. It does see 5 and 6, so that's 7. That's 7, 8 or 9. I'm gonna pencil mark that just in case there's some sort of thing going on with 7s, 8s and 9s in this column. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, we've got nothing at the bottom. Absolutely no high digits. Okay, right, so what is it going to be then? And the weird thing is with shye puzzles, which would not be the case with anyone else's classic Sudoku, is like I'm not really sure there's much point looking. What I would normally do here, I'll tell you what I would normally do, and I will do that, but I do it with a sense that it's going to be forlorn and it's all going to be in vain. Because what I would do now is I would study this row and this row for X-wings. And the reason what's an X-wing? Or it's a digit that, if there is a digit from 6, 7, 8 and 9 that can only go in 2 of these 4 squares, that's the basis for a lot of advanced patterns in Sudoku. So this is what I would do. And that's what I'm going to do now. Yeah, okay, there is. Okay, so maybe this is not forlorn. 6 in this row can only go in those 2 cells, I believe. So what we have to hope now is, can we get 6 locked into... No. That's near though. That's near enough to be almost interesting. So 6 in the... What I was trying to do is, if I could have got 6 locked into those 2 squares in the bottom row, then I would have had an X-wing on 6s in these red squares. And an X-wing would have allowed me to eliminate 6 from all of those cells. But I'm loath to explain that logic. It is logical that you can do that unless I actually have an X-wing. So, but I think 6 can go in all 3 of those cells, which is almost swordfishy. If we could find another row that were locked the 6s into just columns 1, 6 and 9. I don't see it. Oh, Bilbo Bobbins. That's very annoying. Dum 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 dum. What is going on? I don't know. Sorry, I just can't can't quite get my head around that. Right, I'm going to get rid of my rednesses then. I'm going to just check the other digits, because I only checked 6 in the top row because that's the first one I saw. So 9. There's literally no other high digits looking at these gaps, I don't think. Right, so that's not helpful, annoyingly. Right, let's try the bottom row then. 1, 2, 6 and 9. Obviously we've already looked at the 6. We've got 9 here again. Oh, 2. Wasn't there a 2 that I saw looking... No, there wasn't. Oh, okay, no. Right, there's really nothing going on in the bottom of the grid. Oh, how peculiar. Right, what on earth have you done here, shye? What have you done here? Shye's puzzles often, when she does these sort of clever tricks where, in theory at least, a human being can spot the madness and dig yourselves out of the hole, she doesn't tend to do it in an unfair way. So often, you'll find this cell is involved somehow. So the first cell in the grid, if you like. Let me just check. Is that... No, that's 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku. That one's not restricted by Sudoku. That one is 1, 6 or... I don't think it is this. I don't think it is these squares. So... okay, what's going on there then? So I'm just wondering if it's something to do with the 6 and the 9 in row 1 and 9. Have we got some sort of conditional X-wing thing going on here? I'm just suspicious that these digits don't appear in either of these rows, and they are. What I'm wondering is whether it's possible to argue as a result of the 6s and the 9s in row 1 and row 9 that there must be an X-wing on one of those digits in these cells. So if hang on, let me think about this. So 6 can go in one of those 3 cells and one of these 3 cells. They are the let's give this a different colour. Let's make that orange. 9 can go in that collection of cells. So if 6 went here in row 1, then there would be a 6 in one of these cells in row 9. Does that stop the... Oh, hang on. So if this is 9, if this is 9 or this is 9, and either of these is 6, then you do get X-wings on 6s and 9s in these wings cells. But I don't think it's forced for that to be the case. So let's just try this again. If that's a 6, then there could be an X-wing on 9s, but there doesn't need to be, because that could be a 9. And then that would put 9s and 6s into those cells. Sorry, I'm not even sure as I'm talking to you that there isn't something here. That it feels like there's some sort of restriction on 6s and 9s in row 1 and row 9. But I can't quite get them to mesh up with each other. Oh, hang on, I didn't mean to click tick, is this puzzle correct at all? I can see it's definitely not correct. I was trying to unwind putting that 6 here. If that 6 is in neither... Let me just explain what the next thing is, just to make me feel like I'm doing something. If there's a 6 in neither of those positions in column 6, imagine that. Then you can see that in row 1 and row 9, the 6 is locked into the same 2 columns. And the way to understand what that means is to ask a facetious question about column 1, and then that same facetious question about column 9. And that facetious question is, how many 6s do you believe there are in the correctly completed Sudoku in column 1? Now hopefully your answer to that will be there's 1 6, Simon. How many are you expecting there to be in column 9? Well, hopefully your answer is there's going to be 1 6 in column 9. So in these columns there are 2 6s in a correctly completed grid. But we've just worked out there's 1 6 in those 2, and there's 1 6 in those 2 in the rows. So these 4 cells contain 2 6s definitely. And therefore, in these columns, you can't add any more 6s into any of those cells. That's the effect of the X-wing. That's why it's a powerful pattern to look for. But unfortunately here, we've got a situation where these 2 can also be 6s. So we haven't got X-wings, but what I was trying to prove is that there was some relationship with the 9s and the 6s, but I don't think there is, because there's always this sort of escape valve in this column. So it's not necessary. I mean, if that's a 6, that prevents that, so then the 9 is in one of these 2. We could have an X-wing on. There's something weird here. There is something weird. I wonder whether it's something to do with... I mean, it doesn't feel like it's to do with this digit. This digit is not a natural place for any X-wing in rows 1 and 9 to affect. Oh dear, I'm so sorry about this. I think that there is... Well, I think there is something about 6s and 9s in these rows, and I'm just not clever enough to figure out what it is. There's some sort of conditional X-wing that's doing something. Oh, it's infuriating. Why can't I understand it? Brain, wake up. I'm not even sure what to look for now. Where do 6s and 9s go in these columns? Maybe that's a sensible question. Obviously we can't put it there. That can't be a 6. Ah. Oh. So if there was an X-wing on 6s in column 9. No, that's complete drivel what I was about to say. Ah. What's that digit? 3, 4, 5. Ah, okay, right. That's much more interesting. So perhaps if I'd been a bit more diligent about my earlier pencil markings, I might have got somewhere, or I might have noticed this a lot earlier. This cell can only be a 6 or a 9, I think, by Sudoku. So that's brilliant, because if that's true, that means we're definitely on the right track by thinking about 6s and 9s, because this can't be coincidental. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can be 6, can't be 7, can't be 8. Yeah, that is 6 or 9. So there's that cell. Has that cell 6 or 9? 1... no, that doesn't see a 2. Or that cell. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this, come on, 6, 7. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, okay. Right, that cell and that cell are symmetrical counterparts about a rotation of 180 degrees of the grid. And those two digits can only be 6 or 9 by Sudoku. So this must be somehow important. Oh, my phone is beeping at me. Okay. So now how does this relate to this conditional X-wing type thing I was trying to work out? It means that, so if that's a 6, then there is an X-wing of 6s here. If that's a 9, then there's an X-wing of 9s here. So there now is... And if hang on, what happens if that's 6? So if that's 6, you get a different... You get a different X-wing. And if that's 9, you'll get a different X-wing. I've got it. Right, okay. Well, I've got something. Those can't be the same digit. If they're both 6s, I've now got a big problem. That's very interesting. If these are both 6s, where do you put the 6 in this row? And the answer is there. And where do you put the 6 in this row? And the answer is there. And you can't put 2 6s in column 6. That doesn't work. Now, is that the same with 9s? It must be. If these are both 9, you get 2 9s in column 4, because in row 1 and row 9 you can only put the 4 in the same column. So that doesn't work. So this is probably the point then. So these, right, so I'm going to give these different colours now, because actually we are now able to say that purple and red are different digits Well, what does that mean? That means these can't be, and these can't be. Right, okay, well, I don't know if this is helpful, but I'm going to check it anyway. So what I'm saying now is, because I know that the red and the purple digits are different digits, think about this cell. Could this be a 6 or a 9? Well, no, it can't be, because if it is a 6 or a 9, it forces these to be the same digit, which we know is impossible. So this cell sees both of these cells, this cell sees both of these cells, and that cell sees both of these cells. So none of these yellow cells can be 6 or 9. So I'm just going to pencil mark these now and see whether we get a meaningful restriction. So it's not quite as powerful as if we'd had an X-wing knocking the 6 or the 9 out of all of these cells, but it's a little bit powerful. It does operate on the yellow squares. So this can be 2, can't be 3, might be able to be 4, can't be 5, can't be 6 because of our funny pattern, can't be 7, might be able to be 8, can't be 9, so 2, 4 or 8, that's actually not that dramatically clever, is it? That one is not 1, not 2, not 3. Oh, not 4, because we've got 4 over here. Ah, this one's better. Hang on, let's check this one. This one can't be 1, 2, 3. It can't be 4 because of the early pencil mark we put over here in box 4. So it's not 5, it's not 6, it's not 7, it's 8. It's only got... That's beautiful. Good grief. Right. So this square, let me just check what this square could have been before I did this, because maybe this was available all along. No, oh, this is it. This is it, right. So what shye has done, this cell, before we got this pattern in the red and the purple cells, could have been, it couldn't have been 4, it could have been 6, 9, or 8. They were the options for this cell. But because these are different digits and we've just worked out we can't have a 6 or a 9 in there, that has become a naked single. An 8, which is giving me that digit. So that's a 3, that's a 7, that's an 8, that's no longer an 8. And all of a sudden, I've got digits in the grid, which seems a complete luxury. That's not an 8 anymore. Now, I'm definitely going to look at these. I'm just wondering whether I can do any Sudoku before I need to do that. 3. Oh, I can actually. That's got to be a 3. Wow. I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant, and it was findable. I mean, I went round the houses to find it. I spotted it was something to do with these rows, but I didn't understand what until I got these digits as being restricted. And then once we got these digits as being restricted on the same, these same interesting digits, it's not too hard to come up with the idea that these have to be different. It's beautiful. Now, let's check this one. So this square now is either, that looks like it can be 1, 2 or 3, which is annoying. No, not 2, 1 or 3, 4, 5, can't be 6 or 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 or 3 for this cell only, I think. What about that one then? So this needs to do some work here. It's not... Oh, it might be able to be 1 even. 2, 3, 4, can it be 5? Oh, bobbins. Can't be 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so we have got a restriction here. Goodness me. Okay, so I thought that... Oh, no, alright, okay. I've just seen something else Sudoku-ish that might be useful. I can put an 8 in the corner, which means there's an 8 over here, which means there's an 8 in one... Whoopsie. There's an 8 in one of these cells. No, I was about to put an 8 in there. That would have been a mistake. Okay. So maybe either this row or this column, I think. We've got to go 6, 7... Oh, that's a naked single. That's a 6. C7 and 9 in the column. So these are 7 and 9 into these squares. Sorry, there seems to be a bit of noise in the house at the moment, so apologies about that. If you can hear the conversations going on. Now 6, 1, 2, 4, 7, 9 here. So there's a 7 vertically in one of those two squares, which means there's a set. Aha! Is that right? Yeah, that seems to place a 7 here by Sudoku. Which means we've got a 7 in here by Sudoku, or one of those two cells. So this column now needs 2s, 4s, 6s and 9s. Right, that can't be 6 or 9. So that's 2 or 4, which means this is 6, 9 in the corner. The deadly digits finding their way into the corner. Which I'm sure is going to be very powerful somehow, some way. Right, what now? We shall... I don't know. I'm just going to check this corner digit. 1, 2, 6, 9. Now I've got this. That's literally almost unrestricted. I think it can be 1, 6 or 9. Oh, is this somehow relevant? Does this communicate? No, it doesn't. So if that's 6 or 9, if that's 6, for example, it forces this to be 6 and this to be 9, which is exactly what you'd expect. You expect these two to be different. So, alright, let's try instead... this row, 2, 4, 6 and 9 here, or this column, 5, 6, 7 and 9. Oh, that squares 5, 6 or 9. What's going on? Why can't I do it? What on earth is it going to be? Oh, I've got a 7-9 pair in this box that I hadn't noticed. So what are these digits? 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Ah! Good grief. Okay, so this square seems to have to be 5 now, because it well, in the box we need to put 1, 2, 4, 5 and 8 in, and that sees 1, 2, 4 and 8, so it doesn't see 5. So that's a 5, which means that... So 5 is in one of 2 places in box 8 now. Let's check this column again. We need 6, 7 and 9 into those squares. I'm prepared to pencil mark that now. This is 6 or 9. One, 5, 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 8, 9. Oh, I see. Yes, okay. Well, this square is a 5, 6 or a 9 as well. It can't be 1 or 8, so that's 5, 6 or 9. So in this row, there's now a 5, 6, 9 triple. So these two squares have got to be 1 and 8, which means that can't be a 5, which means, that's powerful, actually. That is powerful. This, oh, wow. This square here now has to not be... Well, it has to be 5, but look, it's going to sit in the pencil mark that we've got a 7 in. So that's 5. So that's 7. This 7 is huge. Because it's going to give me that digit, is what I'm noticing. I'm just seeing if it does anything else. I can't see anything else. So that's now become a 9, which means that's a 7. That's a 9. Wow, that's a 6. Immediately... that we get this as a 6, we know this can't be a 6, so let's put 9 in on the other side, which gives us a 6 in the corner, which means that's not 6. I've now got 5, 9 looking at this square, which is now a 6, which we could have got from this column, but we did it in a strange and weird and wonderful way. Right, these two digits are now known. They're a 2-4 pair, and I can put the 2 in. So that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 7, that's a 9. Have we done it? I'm slightly hopeful that we've actually... That's a 7 by Sudoku. 1, 3, and 6. Yeah, 6 has got to go there, which means that's 9. This is a 1-3 pair. If that's 9, that's 1 in the corner. Doesn't get a song, but it's very welcome all the same. That's 8 now. That seems to be a 6 by Sudoku. So that should be a known digit. That's an 8. So that's an 8. That seems to have to be a 1 of all things, which plonks the 4 beneath it, and that now becomes a 2. And in this column we need a 2. Is this really done? 8 means that's a 1, and that square's got to be a 9. Good grief. Okay. Now, don't resist any further. I've got a 1-3 pair in this column now. Don't know how long that's been sitting there for. 7 seems to say this has got to be a 7, so let's do that. 7, 5. So 5's got 2 possible positions in box 4. And let me check this column again. This is now not 7. So in this column we need 2. Oh, it's 2 and 9 again, is it? Yeah, I see. So that's got to be 9. That's got to be 2. That's got to be 2. That's got to be 4. That's got to be 4. This is a 1 or a 3. So we're heading towards some sort of 1-3 type thing going on, aren't we? So what's going on? Oh, this 9 is giving me a 9 here. 9, 5, 5, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1 here, and then 6 here. Final digit actually was one of our funny digits. Let's just see if this is correct. Yes. What a brilliant puzzle. 37 minutes for a classic Sudoku. Well... I hope that you don't feel that was too slow. I didn't feel that. I sort of stopped. I was constantly trying to come up with ideas and failing mostly, but in the end I got there, and it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful idea, and you can find it. You can probably find it much more quickly if you're better than I am at sort of isolating cells that are, you know, restricted. I didn't even notice that these had to be 6s and 9s until I was looking at this column and thinking about 6s and 9s. So if you spotted this quickly, maybe once you spot the 6 and 9 are doing something funny in rows 1 and 9, you can hone in on the correct thinking much faster than I did. I was stuck by trying to work out. I thought there was some sort of conditional X-wing thing going on in rows 1 and 8. Which I don't think there is, although I'm not sure there isn't some other strange name for this pattern. There's clearly a dependence in terms of what's going on in 6 and 9. Just whether it's strong enough to really do anything without this magic in these two squares, I'm not sure. I look forward to the comments though. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.